Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Sumo fans! I'm Vini and this is Sumo Files, and today I'm going to talk about Day 9 of the 2026 Hatsu Basho, so without further ado, let's dive into the highlights. After a balanced Tachi-ai, Asanoyama managed to steady himself and force Tobizaru back, securing a Yurikiri victory. The bout began evenly, with Asanoyama initially attempting a Kimedashi, only for Tobizaru to escape by forcing his arms down. Tobizaru then tries to turn the tables with a quick Hataki Komi, but the Takasago-man stayed composed, recovered his position, and finished the match cleanly at the edge. This puts Asanoyama back on the board, but unlike the early days of the tournament, consistency continues to elude him. Tobizaru, meanwhile, suffers his 7th straight loss after dropping 6 in a row from day 2 to day 7, leaving him firmly on the brink of Makuuchi. Kotoshoho weathered Abi's early power and pushed through for a Noshidashi win. Abi opened with a sharp Harite and tried to pivot off Kotoshoho's shoulder, but the Sadogatake wrestler absorbs the impact and initiated a prolonged Tsupari exchange. After forcing Abi's head down, Kotoshoho survived a Hikiotoshi attempt and powered him straight out. It was a damaging loss for Abi, who had just returned to winning ways yesterday only to stumble again. For Kotoshoho, this was a crucial response after his Day 8 defeat, bringing him to a solid 6-3 and restoring momentum. Tamawashi survived sustained pressure and turned the tables to defeat Oshoma by Yurikiri. Oshoma secured Tamawashi's left arm after the Tachi-ai, using the opening to claim an outside grip with his left hand and then an inside grip with the right. Even after Tamawashi latched onto the Mawashi, the veteran was dragged along the Tawara, refusing to go down until the moment he found space to pivot and reverse the position, pushing Oshoma out. Oshoma now finds himself on a roaring 4-loss skid after a strong start, with his inability to finish bouts becoming increasingly evident. Tamawashi, the Iron Man of Sumo, remains with a negative record, but keeps his hopes alive with another display of resilience. Daieisho finally found his rhythm, overwhelming Hakunofuji with relentless thrust to claim a Tsukidashi win. A powerful Nodo at the Tachi-ai created immediate separation, allowing Daieisho to unleash a barrage of attacks. Hakunofuji adopted a Hami stance and nearly got caught with a Hataki Komi, which made Daieisho immediately move up a gear, finishing the bout with 2 decisive Nodoa strikes. After a disastrous start to the Basho, this marks Daieisho's first winning streak of the tournament. Hakunofuji, who stunned Yokozuna Onosato yesterday, saw his Sumo completely neutralized by an opponent he has yet to defeat in his career. Yoshinofuji turned defense into brilliance, countering Takanosho with a perfectly timed Tsukiotoshi. Both men striking each other's chins at the Tachi-ai, followed with strong Nodoa exchanges. But Takanosho gradually took control through superior Oshizumo. As he drove Yoshinofuji to the Tawara, however, the Segahama wrestler launched a stunning counter, lifting Takanosho's right elbow and throwing him off balance. It was a beautiful response from Yoshinofuji, who rebounds to a 5th win after 2 straight losses. Takanosho, on the other hand, sees his last hopes fade as he slips into Makuuchi. Kirishima wasted no time asserting control, finishing Ura with a sharp Sakatotari at the edge. He immediately pushed Ura towards the Tawara, and although the Kisei wrestler tried to turn and grab the arm for a Totari, Kirishima anticipated the move and reversed it cleanly. The range of techniques Kirishima has shown so far is remarkable, and with Abi's loss earlier in the day, he now stands alone atop the leaderboard with 8 wins. Unfortunately for Ura, this defeat drops him to 8 losses, confirming his Makuuchi. Aonishiki imposed his power and technique to defeat Wakata Kakage by Kirikaeshi. He quickly took the initiative with thrust to the chest and face, then landed a crushing Nodoa that Wakata Kakage somehow absorbed. The Arashio man fought back valiantly, matching the Oshizumo and even deflecting some attacks. But once Aonishiki secured a left hand grip on the Mawashi, he slid his knee behind behind Wakatakakage's leg and ended the bout decisively. It was a high-level technical performance from Aonishiki, who reaches 7 wins and regains the lead in the rivalry. Wakatakakage, who had lifted spirits by snapping a 3-loss streak yesterday, once again finds himself in a difficult position. Kotozakura executed his plan with authority, defeating Takayasu by Tsuki Otoshi. He secured a right-hand grip early, rotated Takayasu, and drove him back to the Tawara. There, the Sekiwake resisted and attempted to counter with Tsupari, but the Ozeki controlled his right arm and forced him down from behind. Both men now sit at 6 and 3, though with very different feelings. Kotozakura rebounds confidently, while Takayasu sees the winning streak he was building come to an abrupt halt. Wakamoto Haru took full advantage of Onosato's limitations, forcing him out with a straightforward Yorikiri. Onosato tries to halt the advance with his arms, but his left side simply lacked strength, allowing Wakamoto Haru to drive him straight out. After admitting yesterday that his shoulder is bothering him, and even drawing criticism from Chairman Hakaku for saying so, the sumo community has largely rallied behind Onosato, with many believing withdrawal may be the safest option. Wakamoto Haru, meanwhile, continues to rebuild after a dreadful start and keeps his Kachikoshi hopes alive. Atamifuji kept a remarkable surge by overpowering Hoshoryu for a Noshidashi victory. Hoshoryu targets the chest early and tries to force Atamifuji's hands down, but when that failed, he simply became an easy target. As with the previous day, the Yokozuna's forward drive was weak and his footwork nearly absent, clear signs that his injury is affecting him despite his refusal to admit it. For Atamifuji, this was a special moment. After an uncertain start, he has now strung together 7 straight wins, and on top of that, captured the first Kinboshi of his career. Now, to finish things off, here are the results of the 9th day of the tournament, and also the bouts we'll see tomorrow. In addition, here's the updated table for the Yusho race. And if you enjoyed this coverage, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you don't miss any future content. That's it guys, until next time!